What's up guys, welcome back to another coaching video. We haven't done one of these for a while. I think I did have a couple submitted and then over the Christmas break they got lost somewhere. So if you are one of those people watching right now, I apologize. Bump the message in Discord, as I do get quite a lot, but bump it and let me know, and if you want me to still do this then I will do it for you. But in this video we are going to go through helping this player out on their solo Seiryu kills. Now this isn't just for people learning Seiryu, of course. There's going to be tips that are about Seiryu to help this player, but at the same time we're going to look at PvM stuff overall. And if you are a big person getting into PvM, or maybe you're even like getting into high level sort of stuff, you may still pick some stuff up from this video as well on things that I mentioned about maybe gear or like inventory stuff or all that sort of stuff. So if you find this video useful, then please do leave a like, sub to the channel if you're new around here. And if you think this could benefit you as well, then also send me a message on Discord, upload a video to YouTube as unlisted on a kill and the boss that you're struggling with or something like that, and I will take a look for you. It's absolutely fine. It's good content for me. People enjoy it, so that's pretty much it. I'm not claiming to be a pro at PvM, by the way. They just think that I can help them out, and I'm happy to help people out where I can. So that is the plan from here. If I can offer anything, then happy days. Okay, so we got Seiryu. As I can see, you are using, looks like Zuriel's here. You got a Ring of Death, and looks like you're using a Elder Wand and an Elder Orb. They're both augmented. We don't need to see the perks. That's fine. If you want, message me on Discord, and we'll go over your perks afterwards. It looks like you are you max combat? It looks like you're max combat. You are 99 prayer, 99 health, 99 summoning. Yes, you are max combat. You got a Ripper Demon. You are using scrolls. Beautiful to see. You have the tier 95 curses, but you're not using it. We'll see if that comes on during the fight. It's quite often that people do forget to use these in these videos because pressure's on, you're recording, all that sort of stuff. So we'll just assume that was a little mistake if it's not on. And we're going to let this thing roll because it is 10 minutes and we're already 2 minutes in. So there's no sound on this. That's absolutely fine. Doesn't matter. Dodging the mechanic there. Good to see. You did start off with Metamorphosis. Does this mean you do not have Sunshine? If you don't, number one, get Sunshine. So a lot of people think World Wakes has a lot of requirements. One, max combat, but two, World Wakes has no requirements to actually unlock the Sunshine and the Death Swiftness, and I think it offers some other stuff too, but you don't need any requirements for this, so go ahead and get that. You want to get the Sunshine definitely, and Death Swiftness. They are like the major part of your rotation, so it looks like you don't have that. You want to get it. Devotion to block the first fire breath, absolutely beautiful. Looking at your inventory before we do get started anymore, you've got your overload, you've got your prayer and all. That's great to see. Seiryu is immune to poison, so it doesn't even matter about any weapon poison or anything like that. Are you not wearing gloves? I know you got Carapace wrist wraps, they're just kind of hard to see. Cool, that's fine. That's what you want to be wearing here. Using Maniacal Aura, great to see as well. And you've got an Essence of Finality. I'm going to assume that's a Gothic Staff in there, but if not, I'm sure we'll find out at some point, and we'll go from there. Your inventory though, you've got Vuln Bombs, which is absolutely great to see, and you do have a shield switch. Again, it's absolutely brilliant to see. I would swap those Rock Tails out though for either blue blubbers or green blubbers, because it doesn't drain your adrenaline when you are using them, so you can get more thresholds off and stuff without eating. If you do need to eat, it won't cost you the adrenaline. And also I think green blubbers are stupidly cheap, so for Seiryu you probably be okay on green blubbers. We'll see how you do on food. But anything else that you can bring, I'm going to assume you've got the passive Ring of Vigor, hopefully. If not, then work on a Ring of Vigor, and I guess that's probably it. You don't have Greater Sunshine or anything, so when you do get Sunshine, you're going to want to get a Planted Feet switch as well until you get that. You got Great Concentrated Blast, and you've got your dual wield Wand and Orb. I could mention about the Virtus book, but it doesn't matter. You've got the orb already. It's fine. Good res, so you know the devotion, you know the res. That's absolutely great to see. And you are clicking some abilities. Now, what I would suggest straight away is get those abilities keybound, dude. It is going to help you out a lot once you get comfortable with it. At first, it might be a little bit, I don't know, like off-putting because you're not used to it. But yeah, so here you just use Tendrils, right? Now, Tendrils is a great ability for magic. It is really good, but only if you're using Insight Fear and you've just used Tsunami and you need adrenaline. There's no reason to use it otherwise. Tendrils is a terrible threshold without either the Staff of Armadil or if you're just trying to get adrenaline from the actual ability. So it's not worth it. Don't bother using that until then. You want to just focus on Wild Magic, Asphyxiate, Gothic Staff, and your Essence of Finality. I don't know if that's what you've got or not. Seiryu doesn't have any stacks of it. But if not, you do have an Essence of Finality, so put a Gothic Staff in there. and just spam away, dude. Look at this. You're sat on like pretty much 100% adrenaline right now. You just sat there on it, and sure, whatever, that's fine. But if you a Gothic staff can hit really freaking hard, so you want to be spamming the living crap out of that. It is going to give you a lot of damage, so make sure you keep on top of that. And if you don't have one of those in there, if it's something you can switch out, then get it swapped out. I'm assuming you don't have like an armored battle staff in there. I hope not anyway. So we'll go from there. So you're dealing with mechanics really well. So obviously with this one, you know, if it lands, just move a little bit. Your mechanics on how to actually stop Seiryu, like his stuff, is really, really good. I don't really need to look at that. I think you're doing fine with it. Oh, wait, you do have sunshine. You got sunshine here. Oh, okay. Right, game changer. At the beginning, use Metamorph. Don't. Just use Sunshine immediately. Start with Sunshine. Don't use an adrenaline potion unless it does take you a while to go up and then it's off cooldown again, which is one thing you could bring with you, by the way. You want to be bringing an adrenaline potion with you pretty much everywhere you go. They are just way too good not to have them, so get some of those made. Let's have a look at your herblore. You have 99 herblore. You can definitely make them. You can make super adrenaline potions and then get an assist to make adrenaline renewals if you have the GP for it, which it looks like you do. You got 150 mil, so definitely worth it in that sense. You'll definitely see an increase in DPS and stuff from using that. So you're going to jump up here. As soon as you jump up, you want to be basically using your sunshine more or less straight away. Now, one thing you can do here is as you're jumping up, see how when you jump up, your camera like does this stupid jump like that? You see that? That's really freaking frustrating, right? But if you actually, when you're down here, when you've clicked to jump up, so we're going to see you do that in a sec, you've clicked there to jump. Now right click this crystal, like I can't do it, but obviously right click this crystal, and when you jump up, it'll give you the option. Don't click yet, just right click it, and as soon as that camera moves, you can click attack crystal and you'll target it straight away. That way your camera does, because your camera does, it does this stupid thing, it's really annoying, but if you have that right click, then you can target straight away. It saves you a second. You are going to sunshine here. Beautiful, that is great to see. You could also soul split here for a bit more health back, ready for when you go down if you wanted to, unless you have the archaeology relic for damage, in which case you may not want to. So you've just swapped to Insight Fear using your abilities, your thresholds, your tsunami's done there. What you could have done, you are switching between them actually. Okay, so you've used the tsunami buff. If you want a greater concentrated blast now, and then you could have tendrils afterwards. I wouldn't use deep impact here. Yes, tendrils. I think you accidentally queued the other one instead, but you had the right idea, so that's good. But overall you're going to get, so this is probably going to be a 3 cycle, I would say. Wait, we're going to use ability. What is it? It is a Gothic staff. Okay, so spam the living crap out of that Gothic staff, dude, when you've got high adrenaline. Don't sit on 100% adrenaline. It is a complete waste. You want to spam the living crap out of it whenever you can. Adrenaline potion, when you jump up here, as soon as you use your sunshine, use an adrenaline potion. If you do enough damage down the bottom when you sunshine at the beginning, don't use your adrenaline potion because you want it to be available for the crystals. But as soon as you jump up, sunshine, adrenaline potion, do as much damage as you can. Now, if you use adrenaline potion, you could then tsunami with the Insight Fear stacks if you change to Insight Fear before you jump up, right? Or you could just camp Insight Fear. You don't need to go back to Exannuate unless you're saving runes, right? There's no reason to. Otherwise, you might, there's just, yeah, it's not a huge deal. But when you jump up, just use Sunshine, Adrenaline Potion, and then add Tsunami and Tendrils for more adrenaline. And then I would throw out all the other stuff like your Wild Magic, your Asphyxiate. I would use your Gothic Staff a few times and get some damage done. So that is definitely something you want to do. So World Wakes doesn't matter, but for any other people that don't have it, it doesn't have requirements. You don't have to worry about it. So here, when you're jumping back down to kill these, there isn't any reason to. So when you jump down, the first lot we're going to see, one second, let's see. The first lot come through, right? And they heal this crystal up. But the second lot will actually pull you down. So you can stay up here in DPS this as much as you can until you get dragged down. The second wave of blobs, you do not need to jump down for. Just keep DPS in this crystal and you'll get pulled to the middle of the room. It may still happen to you, but I'm assuming because you jumped down, it's not going to. But if you're up top still, when they reach about here, you'll get dragged into the middle of them. You'll have to use freedom or anticipate before. Just use freedom when you get dragged down though. It's not a big deal. And then kill the blobs off. But that allows you to DPS for the maximum amount of time that the game will allow you before you come back down. And it could get you a 2 cycle instead of a 3 cycle. So that is definitely something to take into account. But otherwise, you're doing pretty good so far. Your mechanics, like I say, with the actual boss are pretty good. You've used 1 Rocktail so far. And that is because your mechanics with the boss are really good, right? So you can definitely bring green blubber jellyfish to Seiryu. It's going to save you money because they're cheap as chips. And also, whenever you do eat them, you don't have to worry about losing adrenaline. So, also going to help on your DPS too. So again here, you're on high adrenaline. Dump that Gothic Staff, man. If you don't know what to use, if you feel like you can't use Asphyxiate because of where you are, don't use Tendrils. You know that now though, don't use Tendrils. But if you feel like you can't use Asphyxiate because it's channeling, then just use your Gothic Staff, man. Like, use it as a threshold. I treat Gothic Staff as an extra threshold ability on magic, because you're lacking thresholds. With magic, you don't really want to use Deep Impact. It's not that good. You can use it, obviously, if you've got the adrenaline and nothing else available, but you're better off just using a Gothic Staff. You've got Asphyxiate, which is great. You've got Wild Magic, which is great. Detonate is actually really good as well, because you can charge Detonate and release it with something else. That's a whole nother story. If you want, I can explain that over Discord, and I've mentioned it in a few videos as well. But I would suggest, instead of using Deep Impact, instead of using Tendrils without the Tsunami buff, just use your Gothic Staff. It's better. Tendrils hurt you instead anyway. But you're healing here with the Dragon Breath. You could probably no food this if you really tried. Like, I can tell you've used 2 foods so far. You're doing freaking great with mechanics. It's absolutely awesome to see. So you're gonna just get through here. You're getting close to thresholds. You want to start building up your adrenaline. What have you got for prayer? Okay, so you must just be using your renewal as your prayer thing. Oh wait, you haven't used your okay, right, yeah, your tier 95 DPS curse. Big deal. You need to get that on. It's huge. Bring with you, if you're using a Ripper Demon, which has scrolls in it, bring spiritual prayer potions. They will change your life. So what a spiritual prayer potion does is it will drink, every time you drink it, it'll, one, put your prayer points back up, but it'll also give your Ripper Demon more spec attack points. So while you're down there, you'll DPS more. So this is good. So here you should have, what you should have done here, it's good. This is good. Like, you Sunshine, you do your thing. You would drink an adrenaline potion if you had one, which I would suggest adding to your preset immediately. And then you would probably want to surge forward before you Sunshine, so you're close to that crystal. The reason being is, if you kill this one off, then you can maybe have your Sunshine for the next one a little bit. But you're going to let the heal come through anyway, right? But it's just a good habit to get into. So you use your Tsunami, you got the buff. You could then use Tendrils to get your adrenaline back, which you've used Asphyxiate. Again, if you created this is what it is, it's fine. You got a Jazz book, it's great to see as well. This is absolutely fine. So far you got the crystal down. Your DPS is okay, right? But imagine if you had an adrenaline potion and you use your tier 95 curse, and you just use that Gothic Staff more, because you're sitting at 100% adrenaline. And if I go back a little bit here, look how high your adrenaline is all the time. So you've just built up your adrenaline here, and then it's 82%, then it's 100%, then it's 100%. Like, you could definitely use that Gothic Staff a lot more. Take advantage of it. It costs 15% adrenaline. Or does it cost 15 or 25? Either way, it's worth it. Use it as a threshold. It's definitely worth it, rather than sitting on 100% adrenaline, because you're not getting anything out of that at that point. You jump back down, you kill the things. Again, you could have stayed at the top and just waited for them to drag you down. That would have been fine. You don't have to worry about it. But yeah, so your mechanics are really good in the sense that you're using Devotion on the first Dragon Breath, using Resonance on the second one, and then Devotion on the next one, and then Resonance. So you rotate between them, and I assume you can use Resonance here. Yeah, beautiful. What you could do if you feel super confident and you want to be like a super mega pro PvMer is as you use Resonance, you can turn your magic prayer off. He cannot attack you while he's doing mechanics. So every time he does a mechanic, as you can see here, while he's doing the animation for it, including the Dragon Breath, he cannot attack you regularly. If you have blobs, okay, I don't know if they can even damage you or not, but if you have blobs there, then sure. But otherwise, you can just know that he can't attack you, right? So you can use Resonance, and you can take, so here you could take your prayer off after you use Resonance, and you get like a full heal every time. It's risky, because if you miss it, you're dead pretty much, unless you have full health, and you're fine, but otherwise, yeah. So other than this though, it's looking pretty good. So what I want to do is just jump to the next bit where you go up, because we've talked about most things here. We're gonna keep going through. I think it's pretty much most of it. You've dealt with the mechanics really, really well. Again, if you had spiritual prayer potions, you could be down in those right now and putting your Ripper Demon to work, because every time you drink one, your Ripper Demon is going to spec again, and they hit hard. The specs hit really, really hard, so you would be able to actually get through this a lot quicker. But as you can see, you've barely used any food really. And I mean, you could definitely bring green blubbers here, mega cheap. And so not a problem. So you jump up. Remember, your familiar doesn't work up here anyway, so you don't have to worry about that. Sunshine, drop the Vuln Bomb, which you did all the other times. So I'm gonna, yep, there it is. I'm gonna assume you did it this time. And again, you could swap to Soul Split to get more health here, and you could incorporate Detonate into your rotation. So you would charge Detonate with Blast Fusion Boots, which you do have, and then you would release it with an auto attack and an ability. And do a ton of damage. Pretty much, it's really good. Detonate is absolutely brilliant before you get Staff of Armadillo. Even then, it's good, right? But like, it is part of your main rotation if you don't have one. At least in my opinion, it was so good. I used to use it all the time. So you're doing good here. This is fine. Like, I mean, you got an 11-minute kill. You 3-cycled it. With a couple of changes, you could definitely get a 2-cycle here, probably, if you push yourself. In the senses that you bring the actual spiritual prayer potions to get through the bit on Seiryu better. You bring an adrenaline potion, going to be absolutely huge, and you make sure to use that 1095 curse. I'm sure you use that normally. I'm sure you do. It's probably just because of the pressure of recording and stuff. But otherwise, spot on, dude. Like, this is fine. Obviously, you're going to be working on gear upgrades now. You've got the right idea of getting your weapons like before you get your armor. That makes total sense. It's always better to do that. You're looking pretty good, man. Like, other than the few things about your adrenaline potion, you rip a demon with the spiritual prayer potions, your tier 95 curse, bringing green blubbers instead. Make sure to use that gothic staff as much as you can off of cooldown to make sure that your adrenaline doesn't stay high. Obviously, don't spam it so you're out of adrenaline, but when you're sitting at 100% adrenaline, just use it as a threshold. It is absolutely worth it. And right click that crystal when you go up, because right clicking it can stop that camera jolt thing, save you a couple of seconds. It means you get an extra ability in. Every little bit counts. Another thing is you have so much food here. You could definitely bring things like an Excalibur. You could bring things like another rune pouch, so you can use Smoke Cloud. You could add, I don't know if you have Dominion Mines unlocked. I can't see your quest points or anything here. I can, 120. No, you don't. You could work towards Dominion Mines too. That'll definitely help out a lot. But Smoke Cloud will help you tons, like an absolute ton, because you're using Greater Concentrated Blast as well. You're going to actually see quite a bit of return from that. So all these things are going to help out. Add them all together, you'll definitely see improvements. If you have any questions, do let me know. On Discord, I'm happy to go over them with you. But those are the things that I would suggest you go through. And if anyone else found these useful, please do let me know. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. If you have any advice for this person, drop them in the comments. If I've said anything wrong, correct me. Absolutely fine. But any negative comments about the actual viewer that we're looking at here will get deleted, and you'll just get banned from the channel. It is what it is. But yeah, hope you'll enjoy it. Hope you'll find it useful. If you enjoyed, please do leave a like. Sub to the channel if you're new, and I'll catch you all in the next one. See you later, guys. Bye.